Hey everyone, for today's session we're going to look at how to use Microsoft Excel and how to use it to format student data that you can export from your learning management system. My name is Reed Proctor, and for the last 30 years I've been working as an educator, more than 30 years. For more than 15 years I've been focused on helping faculty be better teachers, and important for today's session, for over 30 years I've been using Microsoft Excel to manage student data. So with that said, let's take a look at an example here. All right, here I've got a Microsoft Excel file. So where did this come? Actually, it's a comma separated values file, a CSV file. And usually your learning management system will, when you export the data from the student gradebook, it could look something like this. This is not real student data. This is dummy data, of course. All right, so so when I look at this here, it's I notice that like this first column where the students' names are, the names are kind of cut off. The name of the section they're in, that is chopped off here. Some of the headings are truncated. Again, all the columns have the same width. They're not adjusted to the width of the titles or anything. Everything looks like everything is justified to the right. Okay, so one thing that could be useful to you is be able to export the data from your learning management system and then be able to format that some to make it easier to look at, and then you can begin to think, oh, how could I use this data to support my teaching activities? Okay, so here's how I would approach this. So first step, I look at this, it's not too easy to look at. So first thing, some learning management systems, they'll put this row here. It has all of the point values for the exams, quizzes, assignments, and so forth. I don't think we really need that here. It'll be useful later on to not have this, so that you have your column headings and then you have the data right after that. You'll be able to do some sorting, which we'll look at a little bit in this session, and then we'll really dive into sorting the data in a later session. Okay, so here, student, I cannot see their whole names here, so I could click in between the heading for column A, the heading for column B, and I could click in here, see it becomes this other shape here. I could drag this over. Okay, so now I can see I can see all the students' names there without their names being cut off. Now, a little shortcut for that, though, I could do this, is I could, if I just double click between A and B, click, there we go. So I could manually drag the right-hand side of the column over to make it bigger. I can just double click in between the column headings, in this case, A, capital B. This here, often when you export the data from the learning management system, it'll include some kind of a system ID. That's what this is right here. I don't really need that. What's more important, so I'm going to right click on B here, the column heading B. I'm going to right click, hit delete. That's gone. Then this SIS login ID, at least one popular system uses that as a column heading there. This is actually the university ID numbers, the institutional ID numbers that the students use. So that is a unique identifier. I would keep that on my spreadsheet. But I like the names lined up on the left. Here the default is these numbers are lined up on the right. I don't particularly care for that. What I would prefer to do is if I just click on the column heading B, I can click here, and up here I'm on the Home tab in Microsoft Excel. I can choose an alignment option. I'm going to center that data. That looks better. I'm already feeling better now. Okay, here for the section title, if I can drag, well, maybe I'll just double click between C and D. Okay, Math 205, Intro to Statistics. I could leave that there. I don't particularly like looking at it. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click here, right click, and select Delete. Bye-bye. Okay, now here's what I'm most interested in is the student data. Their scores they've received on exams, quizzes, and I've got some assignments here. Okay, so so I'm going to highlight all this. Let me make my first attempt. You're going to highlight everything, and to highlight everything, I clicked on column heading C here, and I just held down my the button on my mouse, dragged it over, and now I'm going to hit the centering button here. Boom. Okay, nice and centered. The assignments over here, the assignment titles, I can't really see. I'm going to highlight these again. Now watch this. Highlighted all of this. I'm going to double click in between column K, column L. Boom. Okay, now assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3. I just use some generic titles of assignments and whatnot here just for the purpose of this tutorial. Okay, so I got the exams, I got the quizzes here, and things are looking better now. I can see all the data. I can scroll down. Looks like I got like 40 students in this class. You know, the column headings, I'd like to do two things. I'm going to highlight. I'm going to click on the word student, and then I hold down the button on my mouse and drag over. And then maybe I'm going to open here to this paint bucket on the home tab. And I like now make the column heading, make the background yellow so you can really see that. I could also, sometimes I like to do this. I'm going to drag, highlight all of these cells again. Again, to highlight the cells, I click on the first cell here, hold down the button on my mouse, drag to the right. Okay, and then I'm going to hit B for bold, just like you would see in like a Microsoft Word program. All right, so things are looking a lot better now. I also like to put, it'd be nice to see more of a grid between the data here. So now if I click here, I'm going to click on the first one. Now here's a little trick. Listen very carefully. I'm going to click on the uppermost left cell, and I'm going to use Control A on my keyboard. I'm using Windows operating system. If you're using a Mac, it'd be Command A. So I click on the word student in this case. I'm going to hold down Control A. Look, it highlighted, or I should say it selected. It selected all the cells that have data that are kind of connected in this matrix here. Then what I like to do is going to go up here on the Home tab. I see this little grid tool here. I'm going to click here, or I should say borders tool, and I'm going to scroll down. I want all borders. Oh man, now this is so much better looking than when I first started. I got the column headings. I can easily see the grid. Much easier on my eyes here. So that right here gets us a good start on formatting this data. In subsequent sessions, we'll look at how we can do some other things. So I will show you one bonus lesson right now. So let's say exams 1, 2, and 3. Maybe right here, exam 3. Maybe I want to sort the data by the most recent exam the students took. So I could, I'm going to click on the word student. I'm going to go Control A or Command A if you're using a Mac. And I want to sort this data. So I'm going to go over here to the Data tab. Again, this is the bonus lesson. This is not the part of the main formatting lesson. I'm going to go to Sort, but I like to give you a bonus. I'm going to go to Sort, and I want to sort by Exam 3, the most recent assessment, big assessment, I should say, in the course. And I want smallest to largest because I want to quickly identify the students who performed not as well on this assessment. I'll click OK. Okay, so here we go. So Exam 3. And there's a few students who did not do too well on it. Okay, so I could take a look at these students here if I wanted to contact them, but I can quickly sort it so that I can see which students who seem to struggle in the assessment and reach out to them. So that's just a quick thing. Got the data from the learning management system. We formatted the data, and we saw how to sort the data by one of the columns. Okay, now here is one additional bonus lesson. Maybe I just want to look at the exam scores. Though in this course, that's over 80% of the grade comes from these 3 exams. I just want to look at the exam scores more closely, and so here's what I'm going to do. I want to get rid of all this. So maybe I can. It's going to get rid of all this. I'm going to right-click, delete. Okay, so again, I just highlight the cells, right-click, delete. So how do I highlight all that? I just click on the column headings and drag over as far as I need to, right-click, delete. Okay? Okay, so now I'm down to these 3 exams here. Now here's a bonus. What if I wanted to find what is the mean or the average of these scores here? Okay, well I can do this. I'll make a column, exam average. All right. And then I can put in a formula. We're going to do a whole nother session on formulas. Let's just put a real simple formula here. Equals. So look, exam 1 is in C2, so that's going to be C2 plus D2 plus E2. Everyone knows how to calculate an average. Now there's a specific formula for this. We'll just kind of manually put in the full formula here to calculate it. I put parentheses around it, so of course you find the sum of your values. You're going to divide by the number of values. I'll divide by number 3 because there's 3 exams. I hit enter. Okay, and okay, so this student here, David Jones, has an exam average of 72.6. And for whatever reason, it jumped over here to the right. So I'm going to highlight the column. I want to go to home. I want to go to align to the center. I click it a couple times, got everything lined up in the center here. Now, you know, it's taking this, it did a calculation, taking out to multiple decimal points here. I'd really like this just to go to the 1 digit past the decimal, to the 10th place. So here's how I can manage do that. So I'm going to click here. So one more formatting thing. I'm going to select the whole column. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to go down to Format Cells. And one of the options is number. Decimal places. The default is 2, or at least when I go into this setting here, I want it just to be down to 1. So I'll click it down to 1 there. I'm going to click OK, and that's already looking better. So now I want to calculate everyone's average exam score. Am I going to type in that formula? In this case, 40 different times? No way. So here's what you can do. I'm going to click on this cell, and now I'm going to go to the corner here, and here's where the magic starts. I'm going to click here. I'm going to drag down. Here we go. Then let go. Boom. Okay, so basically it copied that formula down here and say, wait a minute. So if I click on one of these other cells here, oh, now it's C6, D6, and E6. Because this person's data, Laura Baker, her data is on row number 6. So it automatically adjusts the formula depending on where the data resides for that student in this case. All right, so that's pretty good. So now I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to go to Control A or Command A if you're using a Mac. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click on my Borders tool, and I want all borders. Okay, so now I keep giving you bonus lessons out. So here's one more bonus here. You know, I don't want these formulas. I just want to replace the formulas with the actual numbers here. So here's a quick thing you can do. I'm going to click on column F. I'm going to right click, copy. Then I'm going to go up here to the top. I'm going to right click. I'm going to do a paste special, and I just want to paste in the values, and I'll click OK. So that has removed the formulas and just replaced them. If I click into the cell, it shows me the full number. So right now, we're just seeing the rounded value if you're just looking at the cells here. But I can see in the what's called the formula bar up here shows me the full number and the level of accuracy that Microsoft Excel supports. Okay, so that's it. So we got the data from the learning management system. We formatted the data so it's easier to look at. And then we even did a couple bonus lessons, a couple ways you can sort the data. And we even got rid of some columns because we didn't need them for what we wanted to do. And now I've got the 3 exam scores. I've got the average of the exams. And so, you know, maybe I'll do one last thing and we're done with this. I'm going to highlight all the columns here. I want to do one more sort. Data, I want to sort by the exam average. Exam average, and I will click smallest to largest, click OK. Okay, now here's a couple of students in this class. Let's say these 2 students are down here in the 60s for their exam average. I definitely need to reach out to them, communicate with them, and see what can be done to help them. Okay, and one last thing, very important, is you need to save your file, the work that you've done. When I opened the file, it was a CSV, a comma separated values format. So I'm going to go up here to File. I'm going to go to Save As. And I'll just find some place on your computer. See that because I opened it up as a CSV, Microsoft Excel wants to save it back in that format. But if I save it back in that format, all my formatting will get lost. So you need to save it as in the Microsoft Excel format. Okay, so I'm going to click here. I'm going to just pick the first option at the top, Excel Workbook. All right, then all of the formatting I've done will be retained. The CSV format doesn't support any of the formatting that we just did. So I'm going to click Save. You can modify the name, the actual title of the file, but again, the extension here, XLSX, is what you want. And I'll click Save. All right, and so that's just a quick run through of how to use Microsoft Excel to format the data from your learning management system, the student grade data, and then how to do a couple things with it. We were able to do some sorting. We did some basic formulas to calculate their exam average, and hopefully this will get the ball rolling for you on using Microsoft Excel to manage that data from the learning management system if you've never used it in this fashion before.